Hey, George here, and thanks for clicking on this video and giving me a couple minutes of your time to share with you our philosophy for giving here at The Gathering. Our heart is that you would experience the genuine joy of generosity. And the challenge is, though, that there is so much confusion about what the Bible teaches about generosity. One of the key teachings on generosity comes from 2 Corinthians 9, verses 6 through 7. And it says, a farmer who plants only a few seeds will get a small crop, but the one who plants generously will get a generous crop. You must each decide in your own heart how much to give, and don't give reluctantly or in response to pressure, for God loves a person who gives cheerfully. You see, when we talk about giving, it's often taught that the more you give, the more you will get from God, that He in essence responds to our generosity and gives us more. But that's not what the Bible actually teaches here. Notice it says you must each decide in your own heart how much to give. So it's not the dollar amount you give that makes you generous, but simply the decision to give that makes you generous. A generous person is the one who has decided in their heart to give. It's not giving 10% or more than 10% or sacrificially and digging deep that makes you generous. It's simply making a decision to give. That's what makes you generous. But notice it also says that that decision to give needs to be one that you can make eagerly and cheerfully. God doesn't want us to give reluctantly or out of pressure, because you can't be generous with a bad attitude. In verse 8, I love it. It goes on to say, and God will generously provide all that you need. He's the one that's generous. He's the one who starts this whole process of generosity, not us. And then it says, when God's generous to you, then you will always have everything you need and plenty left over to share with others. Generosity is sharing out of the overflow of God's blessing in your life, not the reservoir. It's when I have extra to share that I can be most eager and cheerful to give it. See, God doesn't need our money. He's not asking us to neglect our families or our responsibilities in order to give to a church or organization. In fact, God gives us so much more than just money to be generous with. You may have a lot of time on your hands, or talent, or experience, or abilities, or smiles that you can share with others. See, generosity at its heart is a response to God's generosity that He's already given us. It's a recognition that He's already given us more than we need. It's a celebration that we have something to share with those who have less. And at The Gathering, that's what we want to live in, an awareness that God's already blessed us. And from that, make a decision to respond to that blessing and share eagerly and cheerfully with those who have less. It's just that simple. No pressure, no guilt, no percentages, just joyful generosity.